Well, hello there ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bigfoot and thank you very much for checking out episode number 6 of my Transport Fever 2 series here on Tropical Paradise. First of all, it has been a few days since I uploaded a video and I do apologise about that, as I'm away on holiday and mass recording and I didn't get as much recorded as I would have liked to before I went away, which was unfortunate, yes, but don't worry, I'll make up for it in January. My aim is to have some live streams and I can't wait to really take everyone's feedback, which I have been accumulating from the last 5 episodes, and then bring that into one massive special episode around episode number 8 or 9. I'm really looking forward to that day, so make sure you are leaving your feedback down in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can use Twitter or Discord, links are down in the description below as well. And then there's also the link to the playlist for the series if you have not seen one of the episodes or the last episode, which I'm about to talk about now. So in the last episode, what did we do? We did a lot of things and it was quite a chaotic, fast-paced episode. We mainly focused on connecting up more islands. We connected up the city of Longhope right in the middle of the map down to the south into the towns of Montrose and Southampton. And then we also connected up at the very top of the map, Northend with Chisel Bay. Chisel Bay is new, and the real motivation behind that, I think, was to try and make sure we get the train up from Forres to Northend. We had to look at the bus route there, and the bus route was doing okay, but I felt we just needed that bit more demand. We now got that bit more demand, which is good, and that means now we should hopefully be able to extend the train up to Northend from Forres in this episode, so we have a train from Northend through Forres down to Barra. That would be great to see. What else do I want to do? I want to focus on some more cargo stuff. There's lots of cargo which we've started to move around. We need to increase capacities, and then we might get on to an air route today, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, enough about what we're going to do. Let's get to it in the live gameplay. Well, hello there ladies and gentlemen, I bring you some live gameplay and some wonderful news. We've got 3 new vehicles available, which is good. The MAN 19 truck. The MAN SL truck was the truck from Transport Fever. I'm guessing this is quite similar, so we'll be using that in this episode, which is great. But welcome your faces to the live gameplay, and you'll see that I'm on 43 million. I've let the game run a bit too much, I feel. But I have made 1 or 2 changes to the game itself, so we're on a lot of money, but I've decided to put the date rate up from half up to 1 now, so that means we're going at a much faster date rate. We are progressing at a better speed. We just weren't getting enough unlocks really for my liking, and now we've sort of gained a bit of money, we can really start to progress that. And we can always slow it down again at a later stage. I'm quite happy to do that, but for now it's up at 1, which is cool. So where are we going to start this episode? Well, first of all, we got a lot of demand issues which we need to sort out. Financially, how things have changed. Some of the routes which were negative, there was 1 or 2 small bus routes. I believe it was down here in Montrose, we had a negative harbour bus route. That's now in the positive, which is good, it's actually full. We need to just try and improve some of our demand, I guess you could say, and also meet our demands with some more vehicles, so we're going to try and do that. So first of all, the 2 boats that we've got travelling between Southampton and Montrose, they are doing fantastic. What I'm very tempted to do on both of them is take the plunge and add in a second ferry, just because it's taking so long for them to move in between, and I'm going to do this, and I might regret it, but I want to try and get a bit better frequency like we've got from Barra to Longhope. So I'm going to start off by just going for that, and then if it pays off, wonderful. If it doesn't pay off, then hey ho, we can always remove them later on. Let's add another Frontac on to our route to Southampton as well. So there we go. So that's the first change I wanted to make done. Next change I want to make is I want to upgrade this ship. Even though it's not full, I'm going to try and add a lot more infrastructure in, and we're also going to connect food into Barra. This is where this chain starts. For those who don't know, taking raw grain over from the farm over to the food processing plant. Then from there it goes through Longhope up to our cargo terminal here, and then it leaves on that boat which has just left going up to Barra and Forres. And then right now we have got a lot of this stuff going from this terminal out into Forres, but Barra also requires food, so we might as well start to try and, first of all, meet the demand a bit better in Forres, because it's not going that great, to be honest, and we also need to try and work on Barra. We'll come back here shortly, but I want to start at the tail of the chain, the start of the chain, and make the changes here. So let's grab the vehicle, let's manage the vehicle, let's go and replace select vehicle, let's go to cargo. Right now we're on the Rigi, capacity 70, I'm going to go for the Schaffhausen, capacity of 130. So that change is made, you've gone from a Rigi to a Schaffhausen, a boat that I'm using quite a lot in this series, and that will be the start of the changes. Fantastic. Next thing to do, we need to add more trucks. We did do a little bit of truck adding in the last episode, but I might not actually add in trucks, I might just increase the capacity of some trucks. I think that's maybe a good shout. So if we focus on the 2 road routes we've got here, let's see what vehicles we have got on them. So first of all, let's not do that at all. Let's have a look at our line manager actually. So currently we're sitting at trucks, flatbed trucks with capacity of 13. Isn't too bad, but I want to see these new trucks and see if they'd be much better. So if we scroll down the list here, it is MAN 19 trucks we've got dump truck, we have got a tarpaulin truck, and then we've also got a tank truck. So the extra capacity, we get 4 extra capacity from the ZIS 150s, which is perfect. So I'm going to make that change, and that is going to cost me a lot of money, 2 million. But that's been a change now for those 7 vehicles. We'll probably add in another one as well. And then if we do similar for the Queensland route as well, or our Queensland grain route should I say, our purple line you could even say. Purple line, when I always think of the purple line, I always think of the New Elizabeth line going into the London area, connecting up Reading, Shenfield and Abbey Wood. I believe in all the towns that are being connected. There's a really interesting YouTuber called Jeff Marshall, if you watch him or have ever heard of him. He does a lot of London Underground stuff, so if you're into transport stuff like me and in this game, you might also like his YouTube channel. Let me know if any of you already watch him. Anyway, so we've also, it looks like we've actually got the dumper trucks on the grain route, which is interesting. So does the dump truck does take grain, and it has a higher capacity, up to 21, which is good. So we're going to replace these 4 as well, for 1.6 million, which is a lot. And then we're going to leave it at that. Let me add one more tarpaulin truck onto our Longhope food route, and we'll leave that in for now. So the next problem becomes what's going on here at Longhope South. We've got 2 Schaffhausens, and I don't think they're filling up. That's got a capacity of 130 right now. And you've got... needs more foods. I mean, we've got 2 compartments, 2 of 65. So right now we've got enough stone just about to fill up a compartment. And then we've got about half on the food side of things. So we need to try and see what we can do about that. First things first, I think we can possibly move more stone, because I think the demand is going to increase for that. That's got 175 on it, which is fantastic, but it's already 118 waiting, so we can go and make that change. How is this quarry doing? It's doing very well, but we just need to transport more by the looks of it. If we look at the charts here, we can see that we have produced up to 400, but we've not broke that next bracket yet, and that's something which I would like to do. So let's grab our ship yard and let's see what we've got. So I believe it is the towboat, 1.5 million, and let's add a second one on to our light green stone Longhope route. Fantastic. Looks like these boats are about to crash actually. Do they actually crash? No, I don't think they will, unless this towboat swings round with its tail and hits the front of the Schaffhausen. Oh, it might do. It's gonna crash. Oh, mayday, and it's crashed. Yeah, there we go. Disaster. Fortunately, the boat hasn't sunk though, and everyone lives to fight another day, which is good. What is this boat's makeup then? So it's not actually quite, because I suppose the construction materials that are coming into this port, some of it will be transferred over to our road vehicle depot to go and be consumed by Longhope itself. But this boat, yeah, it could just do with a bit more food, but I think that really brings us to what's going on here. We've got a lot of stuff we need to move at this end, and that's where we're going to focus on for now. So if we zoom in here, we've got 2 routes. If I actually reopen that, there we go, we have 2 routes. So trucks wise, let's go and upgrade these again. So we've only got 3 on each, which is quite low to be honest. So on this route here, it looks like right now we have this must be, so this is foods we're talking about. So I'm guessing it's the flatbed trucks we're using, which can carry all cargo, makes sense. So we're going to go for the tarpaulin trucks now, which can also carry the foods. And then if we grab ourselves our other route, which is the construction materials. This is using the ZZ vehicle with side stakes. The Gaz MM with side stakes, sorry. The ZZ MM. I'm getting a little bit confused there. But that is the one which is only carrying 10 construction materials, not a lot. But if we go for our tarpaulin truck, then we've got much better capacity, up to 17 there, which is great. Then what I'm going to do is, because they're both using tarpaulin trucks, is I'm going to add an extra 2 tarpaulin trucks onto each of the 2 routes here, just so we can try and future-proof our routes and make sure we've not got too much worries. We don't have to come back to this like in the next episode, for example. So that's 2 onto the construction materials, and that'll be 2 onto our food route, and hopefully that will make some difference. It's going to take quite a while for it to take a difference though, because this is just a really long chain. You know, you've got your first step, taking grain to food, then you've got to move the food up to the port, which is step 2, then you've got to ship this stuff, which is step 3, and then you've actually got to get the stuff into the town of Forres, which is step 4. It's quite a lot of work. But that brings us to the town of Barra and how things are going here, because in the last episode we looked at the bus, and the bus is just an absolute mess. So if we, first of all, click off of this route and we zoom in, we can see that we've got, interestingly, just very, very basic counterclockwise and anti-counterclockwise circles, right? But all in all, things are not doing well. So we've actually somehow got 21 people on the anti-clockwise route, and then we've got 9 people on the clockwise route, but it's just not a good makeup. We've been over this before. The balance is poor, the buses are poor. We could do so much better, so we're gonna make some changes in this town. How are we gonna make these changes? Well, I want to have something quite basic. We are gonna actually replace and move bus stops entirely. We're gonna cause chaos to the village, but I just need to make a few changes for the future, to be honest. And we need to make sure we serve this town in a better way, which we're not really doing right now. So we're going to start at this bus stop here down by the ferry terminal. We're going to go via Temple Street, and then we're going to go via the 3 remaining stops, and then come back down here like so. It's kind of a bit of a mess, to be honest, and I'm thinking that there's a little bit of a problem here. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to transfer our buses onto the new route, probably upgrade them, or I might not. We'll see what the demand is like, and I'm going to get rid of the old routes and clean up Barra a bit. So there we have our change, which has now been made. We have got rid of the clockwise and anti-clockwise loops. They weren't successful in the original Transport Fever. I can't really see them being too successful in Transport Fever 2 either, just based on that little experiment, but we have now got a much more simplified route. It's still not direct from the port to the train station, but I want it to at least serve a little part of the town, which we are doing at least, and I'm quite happy about that. We're now running at capacity of 23 or 40, which is much better. We'll hopefully see that route go into the profit very, very shortly. So now that this change has been made in Barra, I want to turn my attention back to the train, which is currently pulling in, which is looking very nice indeed. I want to try and do some work and connect up Northend now. That's the next thing I want to do. For that to happen, the line is good to go. We've got signals in place perfectly. We've got crossroads set up. This train station is good to go. But my problem is, I need to try and improve things with the bus in Northend, because we're going to be getting rid of that. I also want to try and work on adding in an extra connection into this train station here, because we can possibly get people walking from the... I don't know if I want a bus to maybe do that or people to walk. We need to have a think about this. So let's start drawing some roads first of all. We're going to grab a basic street here and then we're going to bring it just round like so. And that's sort of a turning circle. But then we're going to have another road which comes along and basically runs beside the railway station. Before I continue to draw that road, we need to make some changes though to the train station. We need to first of all add in a platform. We then need to go into passenger buildings, or we need to go into MISC even, sorry, and add some steps. And then I need to add in some underpasses, which will connect in over to here. So that means then passengers can arrive in at this platform, which isn't really a platform necessarily. How many platforms has this train station got? So it's now got 3, a very short one. It's not really, it's just a transfer point, I guess you could say, onto platforms number 2 or 1, whichever one we will use. And there, we're good to go. That was something I wanted to make a change to, so we can continue that from there. Then I want to see if we can try and not cause too much disruption and build a road down there like so, which is perfect. So that now means, and I'm realising I am saying so a lot, is that we can now have a nice bus going around the town here, which is what I'm going to do before we actually extend the train up to Northend. And we're going to extend the train, but we're also going to add in a second train as well to try and help with the capacity. So we're going to keep that bus stop there. I'm quite happy about that. We're then going to have another bus stop outside of the train station here. And we could have another one actually outside the train station front entrance round here as well. And then we're just going to go around the town. I should probably have a look first of all at the makeup of the town and end in the residential district. I think that's the best thing to do. So we're actually going to get rid of that bus stop there. I don't really want that. If we go back in and let's... Can we maybe try and get a bus stop in there? And then, yeah, this is where things are going to be interesting. So we have a bus stop there. Then we can come over and you'll be there. So if we build along here like so, I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest. I just want to loop around some residential stuff here. Like so, would that be okay? Would that cover enough of the town? I think it honestly would actually. So if you don't understand what I am about to draw, we're going to draw it. Going to start off here down by the docks, stop at that train station, then we're going to stop on the edge of the commercial industrial area, go right into the industrial area, come back along to the commercial area, and then go through the residential area like so. And then we're going to come back on ourselves as well, like so. So that's the route we've got. So I realise it's quite difficult to see with all the overlays of town names, but that covers a fair amount of the town. We could improve that a bit more at a later stage, but it's going to be doing better than the current red route anyway, which really isn't serving that great the town anyway. So that there is the BUX Northend. Now before I actually get rid of the red route, which connects up Forres and the town of Northend, we need to now make some more modifications over at this end of the town, or this end of the line, to help out Forres, just because we're going to need to make some amendments here as well. So currently the BUX Forres, it's not doing that great, it's only down to 10k, it could probably be reduced on its type of bus because that bus is quite expensive, but we can also expand into this neighbourhood over here because we've not really got that many buses covering this part of the world. So currently right now we have got our dark yellow bus, our Forres bus just going straight up this street. We can definitely make much more use of this. We can stop at that bus stop there where the red bus stops, then we'll come along here and stop there, and then we'll also have an additional stop up here. Perfect. So we now need to make that change. So if we go and have a look here, first of all, after bus stop number 2, we're going to add in a station and we're going to continue along here and go the long way around like so. Then after bus stop number 14, realising this route's actually getting quite long now, then we can rotate around there like so, and that's a bit better. Again, we're just covering more of the town, which is what I want to achieve with this. Now all we need to do is really get a second train on the go, which will be quite easy to do. I think we're going to duplicate the train we've currently got, which let me have a look at it right now. So if we manage vehicles, I might go for something new. I might upgrade both trains. We'll have to have a look and see what we've got these days. So starting off first of all with our locomotives, we have now got an electrical locomotive. Do not try to say those two words very quickly. I might actually change out for electric, to be honest. We're coming up for 1966. It's not a bad option. We've also got the diesel class TE3 Russian. We had that before and I decided against it just because its top speed wasn't very good, and I can see why. Currently right now we've got our... I've tried to pronounce this one before as well. Egorov, that sounds quite good. Carriages, which aren't too bad either. And then cargo, I don't really care. Multi-units. We do actually have the Japanese bullet train, but I'm going to avoid that for now just because it's 47 million, and I do actually have a lot of money, and it's definitely feasible in the future, but for now I think it is all good. Diesel, we do have some form of multi-unit, but I think it's just two diesel locomotives attached to each other, so it's not really a passenger multi-unit, if you will. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go for the... Right, we're going to go for this train, the Russian class CHS4. Attractive name, right? But the big thing is it's got a top speed of 99 miles per hour. I have realised actually it does cost 19 million, so we're not going to... Should we do that? I feel we should take the plunge. I'd only be able to have one of these on the tracks right now, but I think if we go for it, it should be okay. And then we'll upgrade the other train at a later stage. So if we go for that... And then passenger wagon wise, there's not really much point of me going for that, actually thinking about it, because I don't actually have any good passenger wagons that can go up to that speed, so it would just be a bit redundant. So let's go back for steam. Let's go for another Russian class S. Or was it SU? Because they look very similar, don't they? They do. What's the difference? The class S has got a better tractive effort, and I guess there's a little bit of financial difference, so we'll go for the class S, which is fine. So let's get that out and moving. Did that not buy? Oh, I'm gonna have to make it again. What a disaster. At least I know what I'm going for now, and that is usually half the battle, to be honest. So if we buy that train for 8 million, and then if we apply that onto our train route, our TP Barra and Forres, now we can make our change. So if we go and first of all rename this route, it's now going to be Barra to Northend. And then if we go from Barra back into Forres, and then from Forres we continue up to Northend, that's fantastic. Now the only downfall is that it seems to only be using one side of the tracks, which is not good at all, with no passing places. So I don't know if that's the game just realising, okay, we've only got one train, we can just stick to one track, or I have done something wrong. So we're going to let the simulation run here and see what happens, because I'm unsure if it's going to sort itself out itself, or I'm going to have to sort it out. I am very wary, and I think it really should have sorted itself out, to be honest, so I think I've maybe done something wrong. We've got appropriate passing places, we've got appropriate junctions, for example, so that's not a concern. We've got plenty of room for trains to switch there. Then at Forres, we don't need to switch lines actually, do we? No, we don't. We definitely don't. And then coming down to Barra, again we have... I would say that's an appropriate junction anyway. It looks good to me, so... I'm a little bit confused there, and I'm going to have to sort this out, because if not, these two trains are going to come head to head very, very shortly, and there's either going to be a collision or the trains are going to be at gridlock, which I'm hoping it's going to be the latter. So that seemed to be quite a simple solution actually. All I needed to do in the end was, we're going to stop that train actually, all I needed to do was basically just flip and assign the terminals up at Forres. It just didn't do it for me automatically, so... Oh, some new trucks. These look like Japanese trucks, that's for sure, which look quite cool. We'll have a look at those in a second. But that train is now making its way up to Northend. There's not going to be a lot of people at Northend though, is there? So first of all, let's get this train running again. I just stopped it just to make sure it wasn't too up the ass of the other train. We now need to make our final changes here, so it's really looking good. It looks like lots of people are waiting at our new bus stop, but there's no buses on that route. Oh, that's actually so sorry. I made a blunder there again. They're waiting on our red bus route, which is about to disappear. What we're going to do with all the buses on the red route is they're going to be reassigned onto my new route. Now, I realise there's quite a lot of buses on this route, so we might not do every single one of them, because I don't think we'll need this many for in and around Northend. So we'll maybe transfer just 5 and then we'll sell the remaining 2. Because that's going to give us a frequency of 67 seconds, going to give us a capacity of 60. I think that should be enough for the time being. Again, we can quite easily add more in at a later stage. So the red route, you've had your day my friend. If we switch over to line manager, and then we can close the route, and that's that route now gone. There might be a tiny bit of tidy up that I do need to do, but if this loads correctly, there we go. I was very confused why I wasn't seeing my route there, so we can get rid of that bus stop, we can get rid of that bus stop, and then I think we're all good there. So that's the changes made. That's the train now running from Barra all the way up to Northend. Is it going to be profitable? Right now, looking at things, we've got so many routes, that's for sure. But looking at trains specifically, right now it's actually at a loss. Is that just because of the change I've made? Might be, might not be. Interestingly, I have chosen the different locomotives, which is quite amusing actually. They were very, very similar, so I mean, you can't blame me for everything, surely. But they might perform slightly differently. They had the same top speed. They have a different tractive effort though, so... But I mean, they're only pulling 4 carriages, so it's not exactly that they're pulling a lot anyway, so I don't think tractive effort at that level should make too much of a difference, but that's a nice shot. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to have great fun with the camera manager going over this bridge with some trains, that's for sure. Does that now mean though that the demand has transferred in Forres though, because that means that even more people are going to want to be coming down to the train station, because the only need previously to use the train station was if you want to connect over to Barra, but now you also need to do it for Northend, so I'm expecting the buses to get even busier here as well. I am still a bit worried though. 33 passengers is quite low if you ask me. There's a lot of people waiting here. 75 people want to come round to the train station way by the looks of it. So do we need more buses here? Just because we've extended the line doesn't mean we've necessarily... Yeah, so the frequency now is actually... But I mean, you've only got 24, 23, 22 people actually really waiting. Or at least on the buses. That's not waiting, sorry, that's on the buses. So I don't want to jump at things prematurely if I don't need to, you know? But again, I do realise it's a lot of one-way capacity, that sort of thing. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm quite happy with how things are right now in this town, to be honest. Things seem to be moving quite smoothly. Okay, so I need to stop hitting escape. I explained what I do in the last episode, and I'm so guilty of it, I really am, but I'm quite happy with how things are there. Barra. Going back to Barra. I said I wanted to move food into Barra, so that's what we're going to do now. So Barra looks like there is not a lot of people waiting around for buses anymore, which is good, and that's even after a train is pulled in. Got one person waiting on the bus there. Seems very low. Or that train was empty that just pulled in, that's my other concern. A lot of people seem to be walking actually, which is quite interesting. Where are you going? You're going to an industrial building, so that's not too bad. You're going to a commercial building. You're going to a residential building. I just want to make sure no one's going down to the harbour, because I realise we go this extra long way round, and I could see why people might just walk now instead of take our buses, which is going to mean our buses are not going to be very profitable. I keep going into the wrong menu as well, so yeah, our buses aren't very profitable right now actually. Only 8 passengers. It's not good, is it? It's not good at all. So how are we going to solve this? I'm going to have to solve this. I'm just going to chop these 2 bus stops off, to be honest. Simple way to do things. I think what we can do is we can maybe add in an additional bus stop here, but I just need to make this route. The frequency is not good enough. The frequency is 70 seconds right now. It's in the loss. Yes, I realise that it's got very basic buses. It's got very basic buses for a reason, but I'm going to make this change. So what we're going to do is we're going to cancel out 4 and 4 again, and then we're going to cancel out 5 and 5 again. Then after bus stop number 3, we're going to call at... Actually, it's just after bus stop number 5, we're going to call... That's definitely not done what I want. After bus stop number 4, we're just going to call at that bus stop there, which is perfect. So that's now changed the frequency down to 44 seconds. That gives me the indication we got too many vehicles on the route, which we definitely do. So let's make that change, and let's leave it at that for now and see if that now makes a difference. Let's also do a little bit of cleanup. And that's interesting, the LM68, was that not a mod as a tram in the last game? I really enjoyed using that mod, but it's nice to see it's actually part of the vanilla game now, which is cool. Okay, so we're sort of getting towards that part of the video now where I build one final thing. I'm going to build airports. I'm not saying I'm going to build the route, but I'm going to build airports and see what we can do about things. Where are we going to build airports? Well, I want to connect up Northend, Forres and Barra because collectively these 3 quite busy. And then I want to connect down to the South Island here, down to Montrose, Shanty, Southampton and Winchester. I want to have an airport for this collective island. How are we doing? So Montrose, population 250, Southampton 186, Winchester about the same, and Shanty much smaller as expected. I think I want to build an airport here, and the reason is because the railway line will come by here, so we can also add in an extra stop. It's also in between a few towns. So let's go in and let's see what we've got. We've got a passenger airfield, passenger airport, cargo airfield and cargo airport. What's the difference? So the passenger airport is an airport with up to 2 runways for small and large aircraft. Whereas we've got a passenger airfield, 1 runway for small aircraft only. So that ticks my box for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this for a lot of money. I'm going to build it sort of nicely along this beach here. And that's going to cost me 5 million. And then if we come up to where we are at with Forres and Barra, I can quite easily see where I'm going to put this as well. I could quite easily fit this into a nice niche area. We could fit it down the end of the peninsula, for example. But again, I want it to be near the railway line in case we want to expand the railway, add an additional train station, and add in the airport into our rail connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have it cross like this, just because I want to make sure the flight paths aren't going over Forres or Barra directly, which they're not doing too bad here, and that should work out quite nicely there. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to add in a very small street. Where are we? That is a city street. I need a rural street. So we have something come along the front like so. And then we connect back into there. And then we connect round like so into there. Marvellous. And then we might as well, while we're at it, do something similar here. So if we come off of here like so, try and get a bit more of a natural curve. So if we first of all draw the road along the front of the airport like so, and then we get a... it's not the most natural, but it will do. And then if we just have the other end connect in here like so, then voila. So we've got options here now, which is good. Let's actually see what is up and how much planes cost, because that's the first thing which makes me very nervous. So looking actually at the buildings, already got a main building which allows street access to the airfields, a passenger terminal, we have one of those already. Cargo terminal, don't care about, and a hangar. So we do have the stuff we need. So if we jump into here, into the hangar, what planes have we got? So I'm only caring about passenger right now. We have got a few interesting options. So surprisingly nice and cheap, the junker, which is good. And if I do create a route in this episode, which I am very tempted to, I'm going to need to, first of all, start very small, and it would be something like the Douglas DC-3, capacity of 10, because I don't think we'd have much more success than that, for now anyway. I'm just having a look here, so that's not a lot of money compared to what we've got, you know, 2 million really isn't. I'd probably want to buy 2 off the bat as well, by the way, just for the frequency. DC-4, that is, I mean, that's still not even that bad. And nor is the Bristol Freighter. Not that we're going to go for freight right now anyway, but... ooh, I'm excited. I think we're going to go for it. I think we're going to take the plunge. So, there's quite a few things we need to do before we can get to this stage, though. We need to serve the 2 airports, and that is going to be a logistical challenge. So first things first, we're going to have to build a railway station up at the top here. This shouldn't be too difficult to do, actually. First of all, if I pause the game, how's the train doing? Is it settled down a bit? Okay, so it's doing well profitability-wise. Cargo-wise, it's not doing good. It's not really filling up, which is not good. But in saying that, if we look at this road here, for example, this is the road in between Barra and Forres. It's not got a lot of cars on it anyway, so I don't really need to worry there. I do realise I was going to build the cargo route between the port and Barra. We'll just leave that for now. We'll do that next episode, even though I said I'd do that last episode. I would just rather, like, I want planes right now, you know? Who cares? It's my series, I can do what I want. So we need to get in a train station along here. So let this game start to moan at me. Don't need anything too complex, to be honest, or anything that large. I just need a basic train station. So if we go into buildings here, let's grab ourselves a passenger station. We need 2 platforms, high speed, yes please. Let's rotate this around and let's connect you into there like so. And then what we can do is we're going to probably cut this back just a little bit more. Might actually want to redraw most of this section, to be honest. Up until the junction. I'm quite happy to do that. What is that? You can see it floating around roughly where my mouse is. Is it a bird or something, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, it's a hawk. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's delete that. And then if we jump back in here, back into tracks, back into high speeds, then it's going to take quite a different path compared to before. As you can see, it's not cost me too much to build though, which is perfect. And then into there like so. And I'm going to need to sort out 1 or 2 signals, which will not take me long at all. So if we're coming out of the station, we don't need one going out the station, we need one going in though, and then let's just have a few as we come along the track. I really want to create a mod, and I've not started looking at the modding of this game really yet. It's something I might do over Christmas. Is that I would love to be able to have a mod where if you lay a stretch of track, say 200 meters, every 50 meters it puts down a signal. I think that'd be a great thing to do. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to make changes to this road which we just built. Let's go and build that slightly closer in. So there we go. So that connects into the railway station perfectly. And then if we draw that into there, then voila. I don't think many vehicles will be using the road, but at least, I suppose, is that too big a gap now? Or can people walk that? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Also, people can somehow walk up that and never realise the height difference there, but people can walk along here, which is good, so at least there is some form of connection. The next thing is, can people actually switch between the platforms? There is an underpass, so they can. So that then just leaves me with the change I need to make to the route itself. Our train we have got Barra as stop number 2. So after bus stop, it's definitely not a bus. After train, stop number 1, 2, 3. And after 3, back into Forres North, which is going to annoy me. I'm going to rename it Forres. It should really be Barra Forres. I mean, Forres is the biggest town, or the bigger town. But yeah, we'll just call it Airport Parkway, because there's quite a few airport parkways around in the United Kingdom at least. Southampton Airport Parkway, Edinburgh Airport Parkway, I think it's called Edinburgh Gateway actually, I do apologise, but it's the same idea anyway. Cool, so that's done there. Now what we need to do is we need to run down to here, and this one's going to be slightly easier to make changes to. All we need to do is we need to add in a bus stop at the front here, and then I just need to bring buses in via here. So we've got 2 buses coming along this route. We've got Montrose to Southampton, which I'm just going to make changes to. So after bus stop number 4, we're going to call in here. Then after bus stop number, it's going to be 11. Yep, Prince Edward Road, remember that one, we're going to call in here. And then our Montrose to Shanty, similarly. After bus stop number 3, we're going to call in here. And then after bus stop number 8, we're going to call in here like so. So that's just that small change, but hopefully those 2 routes can pick up the slack. They seem to be doing okay, and I think they have enough capacity. Having a look, just zooming in here, yeah, they definitely have enough capacity to carry some air passengers, which is good. So the next thing we need to do is actually just connect up the 2 airports, which is nice and easy to do. Very quickly name this. This is going to be F, or is it PL? Plane? Yeah, plane. I don't know, as long as I'm consistent. This is just going to be, I'm just going to call it the north-south, because it's really what it is, to be honest. So the north-south plane, and let's go and get some planes onto this. So let's buy vehicle. We're going to start off with the Douglas DC-3. Let's get one of you out from this end, and then while the game's still on pause, let's get one of you on the move from this end here. By another Douglas DC-3. And off you guys go. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently flying over the Eastern Sea. We can see Longhope on our left. Over to our right, we can see the town of East Acton, which is yet to be connected up and will hopefully happen sometime in the future. We can also see a... can't really see what that is below us. That could be an oil well, and then it looks like coming up here we've got an oil refinery. We've also got the town of Barra, and if you are watching this on full screen then you might be able to just see it. We've got a boat leaving Barra, which is pretty cool. Looks like we're starting to drop in elevation, so please fasten your seatbelts as we get ready to come into land at Barra and Forres airports. Please note that there will be a train connection 2 minutes after you land. Please make your way through the passenger terminal, walk along the road as the Transport Minister hasn't implemented a bus yet, and you'll be able to get the train on to Forres or Barra. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That's sort of the announcement that I feel I should be getting in my head anyway, but we're slowly coming in here now. We are on ×1 speed. Things are looking really cool here actually. We've got 2 pilots who could be twins, to be honest. I'm guessing it's the same person, but hey ho. Things are looking good. I'm really glad there's a train down there, which is really awesome. Loving these cameras. I need to record more of them, and I'm sure I will when I get more time. The road in between Forres and Barra looking rather empty. There's one white vehicle down there, but we're turning around now quite aggressively to try and come in to land. We've got 1 passenger on board as well, which is quite surprising actually. I wasn't really expecting that. It's a very short runway here though, so I hope we touch down quite quickly, because if not then we're gonna go through the fence at the ends. But we are down, we are dropping speed rapidly, which is good. We're gonna have to drop speed a lot more rapidly though. We're gonna go around this bend at like 20 miles per hour. 12 miles per hour, geez, oh. Ah well, there we go, wonderful, we're on the ground here in Barra Forres. So, The big question is, have we got any demand so far? We've got 2 people waiting there, awesome, and then we've got like a lot. What is going on? Is that going to be consistent? That is mental. 22 people. So the 2 planes combined can carry, what, 20 people? 2 10s? I mean, wow, that is quite... I mean, I'm thinking people might use this bus stop as a transfer bus stop, just coming to think about it. So, the buses stopping at this bus stop are Montrose and Sea Shanty. They're not Montrose, they both come from Montrose, but it's Sea Shanty and Southampton. People who, for some reason, maybe want to go from Southampton to Sea Shanty might take the express bus along here and then take the stopper bus back into Sea Shanty. I don't think that should happen, but this might end up being used as a quite a big just stopover hub sort of thing. That idea. Again, terraforming looking very good there. You sort of have to go down a 45-degree slope to get into the airport, but hey ho, it's all part of the fun. Anyway, it's good signs initially anyway on the planes, which is cool. I'm quite happy about that, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. We've done a lot this episode and I'm really glad, but I think that's pretty much it for the live gameplay today, so let's roll on to the outro. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, so that was quite an exciting episode. What did we do? Well, we introduced our first planes as we just finished on there. We're going to have to see how they get on in the future. Right now it's a little difficult to tell, but hopefully with a bit more support at the 2 airports, we can really hopefully grow that into a successful route. Only time will tell though. Then we also extended our train from Forres up to Northend. Had to do a lot of changes around Northend, and also we did some changes down at Barra as well. I did say I'd focus on cargo and I really just haven't. We did look at capacity, which was good, and I'm glad we did do that, but we didn't actually add in any new cargo. And I know I keep saying I'll do this in the next episode, I'll do that. It's sort of just what takes my fancy, and I do get sidetracked, as I did mention at the end of the last episode as well. I used the kids in a candy store sort of thought, and very much that's still what I'm like, which is, it's fair enough. I mean, we're getting stuff done, it's maybe just not the stuff that I would say I would want to get done. As long as we're making progress, which we are, then I'm happy. And hopefully you are as well. Again, make sure you are leaving all your feedback down in the comment section below. It is greatly appreciated and I can use it in lots of ways to help the series. With that said though, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be another episode of Tropical Paradise in about 4 or 5 days time. Hopefully when I get back it will go to a slightly faster pace, and I'm going to try and get a solid upload schedule going into January and February. We'll have to wait and see about that though. But that is all, so thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like rating and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that description below, check out my Twitter, Patreon and Discord. Any support you can show me on any of those would be greatly appreciated. And that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.